The story of how a small advertisement costing only $4,500 managed to humiliate an industry giant like Gillette seems almost impossible. After all, Gillette is a legendary brand that for decades was associated with quality, reliability, and masculine style. They were the true masters of the market. The slogan, "the best a man can get," became not just an advertising phrase, but a symbol. Gillette had everything: billion-dollar budgets, global recognition, and immense consumer loyalty. But as the story shows, sometimes it is not money that decides the outcome of a battle, but the ability to strike at the emotions and mood of society. Let's start with the fact that by the late 2010s, Gillette found itself in a difficult position. The market was changing. Men no longer wanted to overpay for razors priced like gold bars. Competitors appeared, small but bold companies like Dollar Shave Club and Harry's, which sold razors cheaper, simpler, and more conveniently using subscription models and clever ad campaigns. These firms openly mocked dinosaurs like Gillette, and most interestingly, consumers began switching to them. Gillette decided to respond. In 2019, the company released a commercial that made history. Instead of their usual images of confident men with perfectly shaved faces, they addressed the issue of toxic masculinity, urging men to be the best version of themselves, not to fight, not to harass, but to respect others. The idea seemed noble, but the execution was controversial. Many viewers saw the ad as an attack on men themselves, as if Gillette suddenly decided to lecture them on morality. The reaction was immediate. Online, the ad went viral, but not in the way the company had hoped. Thousands of critical comments, hundreds of response videos, accusations of hypocrisy, and claims that the brand, which had profited for decades from overpriced razors, was now teaching people how to live. Gillette had tried to take a step into social messaging, but instead of respect, they received massive backlash. And it was precisely at this moment that a competitor appeared, one without billion-dollar budgets or armies of marketers. With just $4,500, they created an ad that stood face-to-face with the giant and struck where it hurt the most: consumer trust. Gillette was used to playing in the big leagues. Their ads always cost millions of dollars. Famous athletes, actors, polished visuals, and catchy music. But with their moralizing campaign, they unknowingly left themselves vulnerable. They put themselves in the role of a moral authority, essentially telling consumers, "You're living wrong and we'll show you how to do it right." And that was when Dollar Shave Club entered the scene. Dollar Shave Club was founded only a few years earlier by Michael Dubin, a man who bet everything on humor and irony. Unlike Gillette, they did not spend millions on Hollywood stars. Their marketing relied on jokes, memes, and speaking directly to ordinary people. They understood perfectly well that men were tired of lofty slogans and price tags that made them pay as much for a razor as for a dinner in a restaurant. And precisely at the moment when Gillette released their moralizing campaign, Dollar Shave Club made the move that would become legendary. They invested only $4,500 in their ad. It was a simple video without any glamour, a camera, an office, the company's founder himself in the frame, and a few background actors. But the magic wasn't in the visuals, it was in the message. Dollar Shave Club spoke directly to consumers. "Our blades are clean and great. They're only $1 a month." Then Michael Dubin, with a straight face but sharp humor, explained how men were overpaying giants like Gillette for marketing, packaging, and useless gimmicks. He mocked Gillette for releasing new models every year with 5, 6, 7 blades, adding vibrations and lights, as if a razor were a spaceship. Then he asked the key question: what's the point of all that if a man just wants to shave without paying a fortune? The ad was simple, a little crude, but incredibly honest, and that was its power. Against Gillette's moralizing speeches, which sounded like lectures, Dollar Shave Club spoke like a friend, direct, funny, and without pretension. Men laughed, shared the video, and most importantly, switched brands. And here's the most interesting part. The $4,500 ad didn't just bring in customers, it created a viral effect every marketer dreams of. Within days, the video gained millions of views, and the company's servers crashed from the flood of new orders. People were literally abandoning Gillette and subscribing to Dollar Shave Club. This was the critical blow. Gillette spent tens of millions on an ad that sparked controversy and alienated part of its audience. Dollar Shave Club spent a fraction of that, yet their message was so precise it struck at Gillette's weakest point. consumer trust, and the sense that Gillette no longer understood ordinary people. In an instant, the company that had dictated the rules for decades was forced into the role of the follower. Gillette no longer looked like the untouchable ruler of the market. They looked like an old giant who had been mocked and humiliated by a simple but brilliant video. And this brings us to the most important part: the consequences of this war between the giant and the bold newcomer. The story of Dollar Shave Club and Gillette is not just a case study in advertising, it is a lesson about how markets, consumer psychology, and the power of honesty truly work. After the release of Dollar Shave Club's viral video, the world of men's grooming would never be the same. Within just a few months, the company transformed from a small startup into a player that forced Gillette itself to rethink its entire strategy. But the story was not just about prices. For decades, Gillette had been selling not razors, but an image, the successful man, clean-shaven, confident, and flawless. Yet at some point, that image grew outdated. Modern men grew tired of idealized pictures, endless promises, and constant instructions on how they were supposed to be. Dollar Shave Club offered something different. They told the truth. Razors should simply be convenient and affordable. Men should not have to overpay for things they do not need. And this was a powerful contrast to Gillette's campaigns, where the ads looked more like social manifestos. Where Gillette imposed morality, Dollar Shave Club offered practicality and humor. The market reacted instantly. Dollar Shave Club's subscription model, where customers received a set of blades delivered straight to their homes for a small fee, felt revolutionary. But the real revolution was in the company's attitude toward consumers. They spoke to them as equals without pretension. In the internet age, when people value honesty and humor over gloss, this became a true weapon. At the same time, Gillette began losing ground. Their ad about toxic masculinity, which they believe was a powerful social statement, triggered a wave of criticism. Thousands of men on social media complained that the brand was accusing them of things they had not done. People began boycotting Gillette. For a company that had always relied on audience loyalty, this was a devastating blow. And in that moment, Dollar Shave Club appeared to be the symbol of freedom from old rules. The story gained even more weight when Dollar Shave Club was acquired by Unilever for more than $1 billion. Think about it. A $4,500 ad became the first step toward a $1 billion deal. And that was the true humiliation for Gillette. While they spent millions maintaining their image, a young startup proved that monopoly could be broken with honesty and a sharp marketing move. But the lesson is not only in the numbers. This story became a symbol of a new era in marketing, where it was once believed that the winner was whoever had the biggest ad budget and the most celebrity endorsements. The world now saw that the real winner is the one who understands people best. Dollar Shave Club showed that all it takes is a sharp idea and courage to flip an entire market upside down. Gillette, of course, did not disappear. It is still one of the largest brands in the world, but its aura of invincibility vanished. They were forced to lower prices, introduce subscription services, and even change their advertising tone. They could no longer speak from the position of a teacher. They now had to compete on equal footing, and much of that was thanks to that very $4,500 AD. For marketers worldwide, this case became legendary. It is studied in business schools, cited in articles, and taught in lectures. And because it proved that the greatest weapon in the world of brands is not money, but trust. People are willing to pay those who speak to them honestly, who do not try to impose, but simply solve their problems. And that is where the real moral lies. Gillette spent millions, but their ad pushed people away. Dollar Shave Club spent only $4,500, but won the hearts of millions. Money in advertising is not a guarantee of success. The real power lies in understanding the mood of society, its fatigue, its irritation, and offering a solution that sounds simple and sincere. And if we look at the market today, we see that it is moves like these that change the rules of the game. Dollar Shave Club proved that even a small company can humble a giant if it has the courage to be honest. And Gillette will forever remain in this story as an example of how too much confidence and detachment from reality can cost dearly. That is how the $4,500 ad went down in history. It did not just sell razors, it showed that the world no longer belongs only to giants. The world belongs to those who can listen, joke, and speak to people in their own language.